So the Redskins celebrate. And while we have a moment, let's send it down to Brett Haber on the field. Brett.
All right, Tommy, I'm here with Terry Allen. Another huge day for him. Terry, you know, this is a week when you play against one of the elite running backs of all time in Barry Sanders. He gets all the attention. You're a Pro Bowl running back also. How gratifying is it for you to have such a big game when he's the guy getting all the attention?
Well, I had to have a good game, and our offense had to be on the field in order to help our defense contain him. He got it loose once, and, you know, we had to just come back out and put some more points up.
You know, consistency has been such an issue for this team all year. Very big for you guys to get 2 in a row, especially heading into Dallas. 6-4 is a big record for you.
Exactly. Every win here is big for us if we want to accomplish the things we talked about early, and we've got to go out and win every game because they're a must-win for us.
All right, Terry Allen acquitting himself again as one of the best running backs in the NFL. The Redskins 6-4, looking good for a playoff spot. Back up to you, Tommy.
All right, Brett, thank you very much, and we thank Terry Allen. Hetzy, I know you like that hairstyle.
I like that sideline do we had going on there. I think I'm going to that next week. Shave it low and let the sideburns grow, baby.
Well, I can't wait for that. And our audience right here in the greater D.C. area will catch it because we're going to be doing the Ravens and the Eagles.
But one thing I agree with Brett on there is, and with Terry, self-proclaimed, he is one of the top running backs in the NFL.
No question about it. Let's take a look at our Energizer play of the game. Defensively, a standout for the Redskins today, Darryl Pounds. Saw a lot of playing time when Cris Dishman was shaken up. And with Dishman on the sideline, Pounds, his second interception of the day. And on this, his first career NFL touchdown. Well, the Redskins now look forward to the showdown with the Dallas Cowboys next week. As you see, they go to 6-4. Dallas with a win today at 5-5. And the Giants in action in an interconference battle as we speak, taking on the Tennessee Oilers. Again, let's go downstairs to our main man, Brett Haber.
All right, Tommy, I'm here with Darryl Pounds. 2 interceptions for him today. His first ever for a touchdown. You know, this is a secondary that gets so much attention. You hear only about Darrell Green and Cris Dishman. What does it say about the depth of this unit, that a guy like yourself can emerge and have a huge day like this?
Well, you know, I'm playing behind 2 Pro Bowlers, and it's kind of hard sometimes, but I know I can play. And as you guys seen today, I can play. I made plays. That's what, you know, coaches stress. When you get a chance to go in there and make plays, make them.
I want you to talk about the interception. First ever for you as a touchdown. How'd that feel going in?
I felt great. You know, it's been a long year for me, and I've just been working hard every day. You know, and I just got the opportunity to catch the ball and run it in for a touchdown.
You know, this team has had a jinx sort of before and after the Dallas games, 0-13. This one breaks the streak. A lot of confidence to have 2 wins now going into a Cowboys game in Dallas.
You know what? We're just trying to, you know, duplicate the year we had at the beginning of the year last year and go in and just make plays, come out with wins. And, you know, this is the second part of the season. You know we have to do to go into the playoffs and everything, so that's what we plan on doing.
You know, you guys shut down Herman Moore in a big way. He's one of the elite receivers in the league. How you guys managed to pull that off?
We got Chris guarding him the whole day, you know. When he was in the slot, you know, I was jamming up pretty good. He's a big guy, so, you know, he wasn't that quick coming off the ball. I mean, as far as, you know, he gave me an opportunity to get good jams on him, and that's what I did.
All right, we want to thank Darryl Pounds. Big day for him. First ever touchdown on interception. Way to go. Redskins 6-4. Back upstairs to Tommy.
All right, Brett, we thank you. And again, Darryl Pounds, the third-year corner out of Nickel State, will return to Ralph John, Maryland, after this commercial and a word from your local Fox station.
Michael Jordan is CEO Jordan.
I'm going to McDonald's. You want anything?
Yeah, give me a Big Mac and fries.
Wait, did somebody say McDonald's? Coffee and a cheeseburger.
A number 3, and supersize it.
Dairy cheeseburger, apple pie, Coke, and you've called line 7.
Sorry, fell in the mailroom. Look, we need 4 Big Macs. Could you hurry, please? Thanks.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
As you may have read on the internet, in a national tasting of ice and regular beers, Brewmasters named one beer the best tasting beer in America. Old Milwaukee. So when you want the best tasting beer, now you know what to ask your server for.
Right now, get some of Goodyear's best selected tires like Aqua-Treads, Eagles, and Wranglers, and get $50 or $75 good for officially licensed NFL merchandise at participating Goodyear retailers. Call 1-800-GOODYEAR. Great Goodyear treads, incredible NFL threads.
This is the interior of the burliest sport utility in its class. The one that can tow and carry more than any other. Now, that's probably hard to believe when you're surrounded by all this. So to underscore the new Dodge Durango's serious credentials, I'm not only standing beside the most powerful V8 in the class, I'm wearing this manly flannel shirt. Durango. New ground for the new Dodge.
With Plymouth, this is what you pay for, and this is what you get. Take, for example, Plymouth Neon. You get all this. And now these special savings. Get $1,500 cash back or 1.9% APR, so you can save over $2,700 in finance charges. One more time. This is what you pay for, and this is what you get. Plymouth Neon, only at your local Plymouth dealer.
Sometimes I think these people should have been doctors. After all, they've saved my life more than once. Anytime I walk into their store with a problem, they always take care of me. Of course, they've turned a few wrenches themselves over the years. That's why I trust them.
Parts America, the best auto parts store in America, guaranteed.
At first glance, today's telecommunications companies may appear to be gigantic, fitful beasts. Look more closely, however, and you'll see one company working to change that perception. A company whose personalized service and technological know-how will guide you over the uncertainty and into the future. While things are happening. Bell Atlantic, we'll see you there.
Obviously, a convincing win today, but how tough a loss will it be for Detroit? Their starting quarterback, Scott Mitchell, had to leave with a right leg injury in the first half. He never returned. In fact, they had to go all the way down to Matt Blunden, their number 3 quarterback, after Reich was injured. But now what if this turns out to be something that could hold him back next week?
Well, I think it goes back to what we talked about in the open. Both quarterbacks for both teams struggle initially, inconsistent, take it out of their hands. The run game really got everybody the good stuff in this game. I mean, for Washington, it kept Fiat consistent. It kept the offense on the field. It kept them moving in the time of possession. For Detroit, Barry, he had the long run. That was the bright spot of the day, like you said. Everything else turned into be big plays. Pounds had 2 interceptions, and that turned out to be real key for them. But here is the lone big play for the Detroit Lions. Once again, things get rough, they get a little dicey, you got to keep pumping it to number 20 because sooner or later he's going to pump it in the end zone.
And a milestone day for Barry Sanders. He goes by Tony Dorsett, the 3rd leading rusher in the history of the NFL. His 8th straight road rushing game of better than 100 yards, breaking the old mark with Marcus Allen, and he's over 1,000 for the season. And there you see, it's still Minnesota and Green Bay at the top, Tampa Bay 1 game behind, and Detroit a costly loss.
Yeah, well, you know, and then talking about today again with Washington, it goes down to big plays. You can talk about ratings, stats, all that good stuff. Pounds, 2 interceptions. I mean, one he takes back for a touchdown, and really, that's the one right there he takes back for a touchdown. And then the first one that really got it started, it wasn't Pounds. It was Jesse Campbell. That kind of got everything started. But this guy, you know, he's made some huge plays coming in, substituting for Dishman. Dishman got back in the game awful quick when he saw Pounds getting the interception.
Well, for Ron Pitts, I'm Thom Brennaman. So long from Jack Kent Cooke Stadium. Final score is 30-7 Redskins. Again, coming up next, the Prime Star Skate International of Germany. The Redskins celebrate a win and now look for a showdown next week in Big D with their rivals, the Cowboys. You've been watching the NFL on Fox. Fox Sports presenting coverage of the National Football League.